All right, today is Sunday, June 2nd, and let's get into the upcoming week for the Euro USD. Not much is happening. I mean, it's pretty much been sideways and haven't been involved in a trade since this last move all the way back here. I think I mentioned this spike back in May. Um, haven't been involved in a trade since. This was actually not the FOMC, but this was actually NFP. There was a huge spike, then market consolidated just a little bit before taking off higher, and then pretty much it's just been sideways. It's been an interesting development because even back here, usually the price is tends to go to these pivot levels. I mean, I've been trading this for a really long time, so there the likelihood of the price going to certain levels is pretty accurate. But in this case, that didn't happen for whatever reason. The market reversed right before it, and then moved up to this area, this in between these two median levels over here. So now we find ourselves pretty much just dangling around in this area right over here. So are we looking for another push higher? Even if I go to, let me switch to the regular candlesticks. You can see you had this move down, and then I thought here we were probably gonna surpass this high, maybe get back up into this pivot area to match up with the previous area, which is all the way back here. Didn't happen. It ended up getting a strong wick, and then we had this really strong move to the downside. Now, I thought maybe we'll move up just a little bit and then potentially move lower, but of course, price moved back up, and then this candle's pretty much, even though it ended up on the positive side, still really didn't do much. So the way it's looking right now, I'm thinking that we might actually still try to move a little higher, and if we do, I'm going to be looking down to the MACD where you can see if price ends up going a little bit higher and matching up with this level here in the pivot level, that this will probably be um, a regular divergence, signaling a potential move to the downside, right? But right now, that's neither here nor there. I mean, price has just been hanging around here. I guess you could make a case for a potential flag. See how this little consolidation is taking place, right? You had that strong drive to the upside, and then it's just sideways here. We're like sideways, but going down slightly, and then see if we get like a break to the upside and see what happens. To see if we get another push to revisit this previous resistance area. Um, so what are we looking at right now? Like in terms of these pivot levels, well, didn't reach this here, and it made a strong move to the upside. Didn't reach this up here, so it seems like it's in between in these two levels, right? You see the main pivot here, and you got that long term and that short term median level. It's just hanging around here, and the same thing happened here. Well, there are actual levels in between. So I'm going to show you something really quick, actually. Um, if I just hide this and hide this, you'll see it looks like it looks random, right? It's making moves, bottomed out here, it topped out a little bit up here without hitting these areas. But there are levels inside these pivot zones, and I'll use a Fibonacci um, example because this is what I use to try to figure out these levels. I don't really use all these levels, which I call them quad levels or quadruple levels or quadrants, whatever you want to call it. It's sometimes the if the pivot, the main pivot level is too close between S1, or it's too close to R1, I won't want to use it because it just clutters up the chart. And then sometimes it's like, all right, well, it's not that much of a distance, right? A real swing move, you want to get like maybe 200 pips, 250, 300. I mean, even up to 500 pips is ideal. So if you have like too many levels in between, it's only like maybe 100 pips or so, for me at least, that's just not enough, right? We want to aim for like 250 pips to make at least a decent trade. But if I take the Fibonacci all the way up here or to my left, and this little tool pops up, you can actually preset certain things the way you want your tools to appear, right? You can customize them and save them as a template. So when I click on this, I have different levels, right? I have a 50% median level that I use, all Fibonacci levels if I want to see all the levels that I want to, I'm looking for a Fibonacci retracement, right? So in this case, I'm not looking, so I'm not going to use that. And then I use quad levels. Like I just said, you use quadrant levels, quadruple levels, whatever the case is. And you can place them in between these pivot zones. And I'll show you right now. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to start in between S1 and the main pivot. Now keep in mind these areas over here, right? It looks like no man's land, and the same thing over here, right? Over here, all these different levels were turning points. So if I start here and I drag it down, you can see these are areas right here. Starting, you have 25%, 50%, 75%, and it's in between these two. So if I go and take a look, there is quite a reason why they found some support here. Same thing over here, right? You can see the support, and kind of a support here. I should say resistance, but the market kept going. And then again, this area right here, you'll see it is a zone, right? So again, I don't really use the quad levels too much, aside for longer term pivot points. But for the short term pivot points on a yearly scale, I don't really use them that much because I just like to expand, and I'll keep the median level only, and have it, the next level be the pivot level. And then on the downside, median level over here, and the next level be S1, right? If you like to use just things that are just kind of cluttered up, that's fine. You can see how these levels get respected, right? I just don't like having too much clutter on the chart, and it kind of like throws me off, right? You don't want to have too many levels to tell you, oh, this might be a resistance, this might be a support, and then you're looking for a MACD divergence, and there's too many things, right? You want to simplify your trading and your trading approach, I should say. But yeah, again, I'm not surprised if it's stopping here. I'm not surprised if it's stopping here because those levels were there. I just don't have them on the chart, and those quad levels actually come in handy with, sometimes if you're looking for something like this, it'll give you an idea of why the market stopped where it stopped. All right, so that kind of explains a little bit, um, why this market seems like it's stopping it before the actual main pivot levels. But I prefer to wait to get a more clear indication of what the market's trying to do on these main levels, right? So again, don't know where we're gonna get here. I'm still expecting some type of push to the upside and see maybe we get a short opportunity here for a move to the downside, maybe 150, 200 pips. But right now, it's just a waiting game, a game of patience, and just wait to see what the market's trying to do. And that's one of the key things when it comes to trading. I know it's, you want to make a trade, but sometimes you just have to wait it out for the market to give you a little bit more clarity, and then you can go in and enter with confidence, right? And also at the same time managing the risk, because even if it looks perfect, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that that trade will work out. So quickly, let's take a look at the weekly chart. You can take a look over here where it's just been up and down anyway. Um, yeah, it just there's no straight read, at least for me, on what this market's trying to do. Um, Still in the range for me. Looking all the way back here, I mean, I can't stand ranges. Even on a smaller scale, these are still good moves, right? They're still like 300, 400, 500 pip moves. But once the consolidation gets so tight, you're just like, dude, make a move already, and you want to get on that train to try to make and as much money as you can in riding a wave, like something like this, right? Even this little move, these are swift. These are big but swift moves, and that's what we always like, right? Volatility, so that the market makes one direction move, and then you get to get advantage of it. so we can ride that wave. All right, so that's pretty much going to be it for this week. Looking forward, I know we have some economic news coming out, and hopefully that'll light a fire in the Euro USD, where we could actually start making some trading, initiate some trading opportunities, and then that way see if we can break out of that large range and make some money. All right, so we'll see what happens, and as always, manage your risk, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.